Greetings, punks, goths, metalheads, herberts, herbetters, Martians and subterranean folk and cosmic groovers. How are you all doing? My name's John and this is the Health Anarchist channel. We're on Boxing Day today and I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas day yesterday, however you celebrate it, whether it's Christmas, the winter solstice, Yuletide, or you don't celebrate it at all. I hope you all had a great day. Now today we're on Boxing Day and I thought I'd get out the house and stretch my legs, get a bit of fresh air. I've not come too far, it's only a little walk, but literally where I live we're at the foot of the Pennines, and those hills I've just shown you, they are the very first hills coming in the Stalybridge direction out of Manchester really, so that's how close we are. And this is a nice walk. I sort of celebrate the solstice and Yuletide more than anything else, and a great way for me to celebrate the winter solstice is getting out physically in nature, walking and being mindful, like a bit of a meditation walk, and noticing all the changes at this time of year and just recognizing it for what it is. So let's get cracking. Yeah. So Christmas Day for me this year was pretty quiet. It was just me and my daughter celebrating this year, but it was nice. And we had Indian food on Christmas Eve, which I made from scratch. And I also made chapatis on Christmas Eve, ready for the Christmas Day Indian feast. And on Christmas Eve I made masoor dal curry. And on Christmas Day I made tarka dal with chapatis. We also had poppadoms and chutney. They were the main things we had, aside from all your usual Christmas time treats. So for this, we want yellow split peas, put those in the pan. We want some red lentils, so half of each. Now the ingredients that we've got here today, we've got asafoetida, cumin seeds, mustard seeds, garlic granules, garam masala, coriander, salt and turmeric. Also green chilies. These are green finger chilies, but these are really large ones, so normally put 6 in there, about half this size. So with these being so big I'll just put 3 in because I like it a bit spicy but not too much. Oh yeah, and the recipe also says 6 tomatoes, so I'm just going to use this today, passata, which is, you know, often used for bases for soups and stews and sauces, so we'll use some of this instead of the fresh tomatoes. It's just more convenient. So there we have the tarka dal finished. Looking forward to eating that very soon. So to go with the tarka dal, we got the chapatis I made yesterday, just need heating up a little bit. So we also have some poppadoms and some tomato chutney. I didn't have time to make my own this year, but it's all good. And afterwards, after our food had settled, we went for a little walk on the park, which we did last year, because people don't really go out visiting the park and the ducks on Christmas Day, not many anyway. So we went and fed the ducks. And went and saw the squirrels as well. So it's something nice that I like doing on Christmas Day, and my daughter loves animals too, so she enjoyed it. So for me, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is busy cooking. I enjoy cooking though, and then spending quiet time with my daughter. It's nice and chilled and quiet, and that's how I like it. So it's a nice dry clear day today. It is quite chilly and windy, but I'm all right. I'm wrapped up. Quite a nice sky today. I'm just looking Buckton Castle. It's like a small hill in the distance, small dark hill. Buckton Castle was on top of that, and you could see the remains. Well, you could see it when it was in all its glory from here, but what a commanding view that must have had of all the surrounding areas. So here's to everyone who had a difficult year and found it challenging in 2025. I hope 2026 is a fantastic year for you, and I hope it's a lot better if you've been having any kind of problems in 2025. If you had a great 2025, then I wish that continues into 2026 and beyond. So from here, I can see the skyline of Manchester city centre, or Mordor as I call it, in the far distance. I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. So this is my favourite little bit of the walk. It's like a little track through the hedgerow, and it's always nice and green, even in winter. So it always reminds me of tales of Watership Down and that kind of thing when I'm coming through here. And it's also a nice little track for reflecting, because when I first came here about 15 years ago down this little track, there was all these animal burrows here. Now, I think it's foxes or badgers. 15 years later, they're still here in exactly the same place, freshly dug sections. And it's that thing about time, it can't be the same animals, so it's like a continuation thing of generations of the animals. So we can see some burrows down there. There's another burrow down there. We've got a main burrow down there. That one doesn't look used anymore, so it's actually still activity, but less than last time I came here. So what a cute little walk this is through the hedgerow. The only downside to this is it doesn't go on long enough when you want something like this to go on forever, or I do anyway. But what a lovely place to come on Boxing Day for walk in nature to celebrate the solstice. So we've got a little ancient section of wall here, the rest of it long gone. Wonder who built it and what they built it for. Into the light. There's a nice shot of Wildbank Hill. Going up this front way, it's quite a challenge. I found it's, it takes it out of you. It's very steep. I've done it a couple of times. Second time was easier. But I usually go up a much easier way. So we've got just a tiny little bit of woodland left. Then we'll be coming up into the edges of civilization. And if I remember right, there's a nice country lane to walk along. Right, it's the little gate here. I think it's called a yeoman style gate. Get them in the countryside. I think There's some stables around here, hilltop stables, but look at these beautiful cottages. Nice surprise. Beautiful. This is where I would live if I could ever afford it. Now we've got this lovely little countryside lane to walk along. Now if there's anywhere that I think's perfect to walk along, it's a little countryside lane on Boxing Day. And I think this is why I've done this walk quite a bit on Boxing Day. Yeah, countryside lanes for Boxing Day. And if you're doing the same as me wherever you live, thumbs up. So it's quite a long lane this, and it goes through the countryside to Staley Bridge and bring me back home. But yeah, it's just really quiet and pleasant. You hardly ever see a vehicle on here. Saying that, there'll probably be a police chase down here in a minute. So you might be able to see the houses in the distance where Staley Bridge is from here. So I always do like to go out walking on Boxing Day because I'm often in all day or most of the day on Christmas Day celebrating. So it's always nice to get out on Boxing Day and get some fresh air and chill out time. The green prescription, as I call it, nature's prescription. Highly effective for reducing stress and lifting your mood if you're depressed. And great for you physically as well. So I was just thinking, I remember back in the day in the 80s when I was a kid, there was this programme on TV called Take Heart. And it was Tony Hart, and he was doing all kinds of art projects. And sometimes he'd go on little trips outdoors and he'd have this little canvas haversack with his stuff in. And on one particular episode, he went out into the countryside and he was making plaster casts of animal footprints and then, you know, taking them home and framing them or whatever. So I thought I could possibly do that this summer when the ground's a bit drier, or even in the spring, and try and get some different animal footprint plaster casts, or as Tony Hart would say, some plaster casts of animal footprints. That just got me thinking. As I was talking earlier, I went through where all those burrows were, and there was obviously different generations of animals there, not so many now. And it would have been different generations from when I first seen them 15 years ago, and I just thought Tony Hart from that programme, he's probably passed now. I think he's definitely passed. And, you know, it just seems like 5 minutes ago in the 80s when he was going off out there with his haversack in the countryside doing watercolours or, you know, animal footprints and stuff, and gets you thinking. I have a lot of thoughts like these when I'm out walking. I find it very meditative, or meditative. Anyway, but I have had some existential crisis moments when I've been out. Nothing severe, but just what's the meaning of everything. And, you know, it's nice to have space to let your mind think about, you know, things other than survival, you know, of being at work, or you know, if you've got enough money to pay your bills, and if you've got enough for heating and food. And it's nice just to have the time to, you know, think about other things and deeper things, for a change, for me anyway. Some people hate being in that situation when all they have is their own company for thoughts, but it's essential for me. So sadly this country lane ends soon, and I'd like to thank you all who've subscribed to my channel. You guys rock, and it means a lot to me, and you know, it's great having the support. Anyway, I'll probably see you after New Year now, so like I said before, I hope 2026 is a fantastic year for you, and if you've had a bad year in 2025, I really hope sincerely that 2026 is so much better for you. So until the next video, don't forget, be different, stay weird, stay free. Bye now.